Okay, so we're diving into Veracity today. VRA,
Right?
you sent us this technical analysis. It's
Yeah.
from March 21st, 2025.
Okay.
And honestly, there's a lot here, so we really want to break it down and make it very simple for you.
Absolutely.
Really, the big thing is where's VRA now and what could be next for it?
Yeah. Where does it go from here?
Exactly. So we're not going to get too lost in the weeds. We're going to give you the key takeaways,
Absolutely.
kind of decode this whole report together.
Love it.
All right, so jumping right into it, the price right now, as we're recording this,
Yeah.
is sitting at 0.01539.
Okay.
Now, to really give that some context, the report highlights something really interesting.
Yeah.
It's down about 98% from its all-time high
Wow.
back in November of 2021.
Okay.
So that was at like 0.086 something.
Huge drop.
Huge drop, right, yeah. And it really just, reinforces the fact that crypto is volatile.
It really does. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do we even make sense of where it could go next?
Right. Well, that's where the technical indicators come in.
Okay, so taking a look at those, what's the 14-day RSI tell us?
So the 14-day RSI, it's at 52.486.
Okay.
Now that's pretty neutral.
So like middle of the road?
Exactly in the middle. So it doesn't really tell us if it's going to go up or down from here.
Okay, interesting.
Especially given how much it's dropped already. It could be a good sign, though.
Oh, how so?
Well, it might mean the selling is slowing down a little.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the MACD? What's that looking like?
So the MACD is right at 0, and there's no signal line crossover.
So what does that even mean?
Well, the MACD helps us spot changes in the trend.
Okay.
But when it's like this at 0 and no crossover, it's like it's just idling.
So kind of like waiting for something to happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not gaining momentum in either direction.
Gotcha. All right. So then we've got the moving averages, and the report mentions some mixed signals there.
Right.
Let's start with the short term, the 5-day average.
Okay, so the 5-day average is a tiny bit below the current price.
Okay. And what does that mean?
Well, it could act like a little bit of resistance.
Like a ceiling?
Yeah, exactly. So the price might struggle to go up right away.
Interesting. Okay. What about the 20-day average? Is that important here?
Yeah, the 20-day average is really close by.
Okay.
And that one can tell us about the short to medium-term trend.
All right. So is it going to go up or down?
Well, if the price goes above the 20-day and stays above,
Okay.
that could mean the trend is changing.
And starting to go up.
Right. But if it stays below, then it could keep going down.
So the 20-day is really important to watch.
Absolutely. It's one to keep an eye on.
Gotcha. And then what about the 200-day average, the really long-term one?
Right. So that one is way above the current price.
Oh, okay. So is that bad?
Well, it just means the overall long-term trend is still bearish.
So still going down, basically.
Yeah, it would need to break above that 200-day to really change the big picture.
That's a big hurdle to clear,
For sure.
right? And there's also the ADX. It's at 32.498.
Right. So an ADX over 25 usually means there's a trend happening.
Okay, so is this a strong trend?
Yeah, 32 is moderately strong.
But does the ADX tell us if it's going up or down?
Not really. It just tells us how strong the trend is.
Okay, so we have to look at those moving averages to know the direction.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, so support and resistance, those price levels everyone always talk about.
Yeah, the key battlegrounds.
Yeah, exactly. So where are those key levels for VRA right now?
Okay, so immediate support is between 0.001540 and 0.001550.
Okay, and if it breaks below that?
Then we could see it drop even more.
Okay, and then on the flip side, where's the resistance?
So there's immediate resistance at 0.001660 to 0.001670.
And what happens if it breaks through that?
Then we could see it start to go up.
Okay, and if it keeps going up, are there more resistance levels higher up?
Yeah, there's another one at 0.001700 to 0.001710.
Okay.
And then the big one, the major resistance, is at 0.001800 to 0.001820.
So many numbers to keep track of.
I know, right? But these are the important ones.
Okay, so basically watching these levels will tell us what's likely to happen next.
Exactly, whether it's going to go up or down.
Okay, so looking back at recent price action, it's been pretty rough, hasn't it?
It has.
Down over 5% in the past week.
Yeah.
Almost 35% in the last month, and then a whopping 87% over the past year.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, so pretty clear evidence that the trend has been down.
Definitely.
The trading volume is moderate though, right?
Yeah, it's not super high, which is interesting.
So no one's panicking yet?
Not really, but they are being cautious.
Makes sense. Okay, so where does this all leave us?
Well, VRA is at a crossroads right now.
It could go either way.
Exactly. The RSI and the MACD, they're neutral.
Yeah.
But the long-term trend is still down.
Right, and those support and resistance levels are going to be crucial.
They're going to tell us which way it's going to break.
So the big takeaway here is VRA is at a turning point.
Yeah, it's make or break time.
But the technicals are still a bit unclear.
They're not giving us a clear signal yet.
So we need to watch those support and resistance levels.
Absolutely. Those are going to be the key.
They'll give you the best clues about what the market's going to do next.
Yep.
So here's something to think about, beyond all these charts and numbers, what else could affect VRA's future?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right, like what about news or adoption or just the overall market sentiment?
Yeah, all those things play a role.
They do, and sometimes they're more important than the technicals.
Sometimes, yeah.
So something to consider as you're watching VRA.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for diving in with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.